A Global TV News Prime. Tonight, President Tinubu creates Ministry of Livestock Development to stop farmers-herders clash. A bill seeking to create 74 additional legislative seats for women passes second reading. On the business tonight, federal government begins construction of 250 housing units estate in Oyo State. Unforeseen methanol-powered ship unveiled in the Netherlands. On sport tonight, Manchester United make second bid for the Brentwaite. Hello and welcome to all of you in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Edikan Michael. Let's begin tonight. That President Bola Tinubu has approved the creation of a new Ministry of Livestock Development. This came as we inaugurated the Renewed Hope Livestock Reform Implementation Committee at the State House, Abuja. The committee is mandated to provide sector-focused solutions to address the age-long farmers-herders crisis. On September 1st, 2023, the National Livestock Reforms Committee recommended that Tinubu create a Ministry of Livestock Resources, among other deliverables, to reduce the decades-long gory conflict between farmers and nomadic cattle herders nationwide. Around the continuous increase in the prices of goods and services over the past years informed President Tinubu's approval of the 150-day duty-free import window. A correspondent went around town to sample the opinion of Nigerians on this new policy by President Tinubu. Has the deep report. We'll bring that report at the cost of the News Prime. Now let's get to the fact that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited says the fuel stations are to operate longer hours for the supply and distribution of petrol, calling on fuel stations to aid the availability given the current tight situation. Speaking during a joint inspection of stations by the nation's oil company and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority officials, Executive Vice President Downstream of the NNPC Limited, Dakpo Shegun, stated that the turnaround period of premium motor spirit trucking is also elongated to ease the situation being witnessed. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority are reportedly embarked on a joint monitoring of the supply and distribution of fuel stations in the Federal Capital Territory and across the country to ensure their queues disappear. Along a bill seeking the creation of 34 seats for women in the federal parliament passed the second reading in the House of Representatives. The bill, sponsored by Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu and 12 other seeks to alter the Section 48, 49, 71 and 117 of the 1999 Constitution as amended to create one special seat to reserved exclusively for women in the Senate and the House of Representatives for each state of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. The bill proposes to take effect after the term of the current National Assembly elapses and is subject to review every 16 years. The bill also proposes to alter Section 91 of the Constitution to provide for 3 special seats reserved exclusively for women in the state houses of assembly. Nigerians have raised concerns over the recent Samoa agreement signed by the federal government over what they consider disguised effort to erode the country's moral values in exchange for Western loans. A correspondent completes the report. The federal government, in a statement issued by Mohammed Idris, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, said the agreement was signed after extensive reviews and consultations by the Interministerial Committee convened by the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning in collaboration with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Justice. However, some Nigerians are bothered by certain articles of the agreement they believe systematically legalized the practice by those in lesbian, bisexual and transgender community.
As Nigerians, we know the current situation of things. And if we're being honest with ourselves, there's really no money. And so the duty is on governments to enter relations with other countries and find ways to bring funds into Nigeria.
So you cannot imagine, with the couple with the problems we have now in the country, we are inviting these dirty things that are not allowed in any religion. So I'm totally against it.
It's going to be detrimental to our youth. I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about our youth. Because when our youth got to know about this agreement, it's going to be really detrimental to them. Detrimental in the sense that, how can we sign an agreement that we don't even know the consequences of it?
Though with a lot of concern, the Samoa Agreement serves as a vital legal framework between member states with the sole aim of promoting the sustainability, development and fighting climate change and generating opportunities for member states. Edikan Michael reporting for Global TV News.
And our former heads of ex-Kaduna State Governor Nasir Rufai say the current governor of the state, Uba Sani's administration, has been withdrawing from the various foreign loans facilitated by the immediate past government in the state. The ex-officials also dismissed the accusation that the Rufai government drew down the loans before it exited office in May 2023, describing the allegation by the Kaduna State House of Assembly that the former governor mismanaged the 423 billion state funds as unfair and irresponsible. The ad hoc committee set up by the Kaduna State House of Assembly to investigate all finances, loans and contracts awarded under the immediate past governor had indicted Rufai and some of his appointees of siphoning 423 billion naira state funds. Now, away from that, a drug baron on the wanted list of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency identified as Jochin Mbono has been arrested. Mbono was arrested by operatives of NDLEA in his village mansion in Imo State on July 5th. A statement by the agency spokesperson Femi Babafemi says Mbono was arrested along with his associate. He said that Mbono belongs to a drug cartel behind the production of methamphetamine. Now, the Federal Road Safety Corps, Federal Capital Territory Command, says it has arrested no fewer than 100 traffic offenders the last week during the ongoing Operation Green Light Enforcement in the city center. The Territory Sector Commander Motas Chori lamented the most motorists, especially commercial drivers, have made it a habit to disregard traffic lights. He warned that the Corps will continue to sanction traffic offenders regardless of their status to ensure sanity on the roads. Now, the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities and Allied Institutions of the University of Abuja has commenced protests over the failure of the government to release the 4-month salaries of the university's workers during the period they embarked on strike in 2022. Addressing the press at the start of the protest, the chapter president Nuruddin Yusuf described the action of the government as provoking. It could be recalled that the Nigerian government withheld salaries of both academic and non-academic staff in Nigerian universities for taking part in an industrial action that grounded the universities for 8th month in 2022. How the Nigerian Meteorological Agency has initiated a training program on automatic weather station configuration and climate data tools to enhance data quality and availability. The training, which commenced at NIME's headquarters, is part of the agency's effort to modernize its weather and climate application tools. In a statement, the Director General, the Chief Executive Officer of NIMET, Professor Charles Anosike, emphasized the importance of the training. The Edo State House of Assembly has expressed concern over the menace of indiscriminate dumping of refuse on major roads and drainages in the state, which he said is a precursor to cholera. The Deputy Speaker, Maria Olivo, raised the concern on the matters of public importance and noted that the indiscriminate dumping of refuse on roads and drains constitute health hazard. The Deputy Speaker therefore called on the local government chairman to build refuge dump sites and sort of monitoring teams to prevent the menace, especially at night, where calling on health officers in the state to carry out sensitization of the people on the importance of proper waste disposal and keeping the environment clean. You're watching News Prime, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and all the handles now shown on the screen. When News Prime returns, this part battling the stiff person syndrome, Celine Dion to perform at 2024 Olympics. These and other stories coming right after this break. Do stay with us.
Welcome to Bayes University, Abuja, Nigeria, with a legacy of excellence and a vision for nurturing future leaders. Bayes University is in a league of its own. We're all about our people, processes, and technology.
Bayes is one of the highly rated universities in Nigeria in terms of product quality standards.
We don't just produce graduates, but groom people into employers of labor.
And it has made us understand that learning is all about three things. We learn, we unlearn, and we relearn.
Bayes University Hospital offers a range of specialized services equipped with the latest technology, manned by a team of trusted professionals. And now, our vision extends beyond our walls with the Baba Ahmed University in Kano following our lead. Join us at Bayes University and invest in your future today.
Bayes University is the institution that you will get the best value for money education in Nigeria.
Bayes University. Learn to live.
You're still watching News Prime on Global Television. Many thanks for staying with us. The continuous increase in the prices of food and goods and services over the past year has informed President Bola Tinubu's approval of 150-day duty-free import window. A correspondent went around town to sample the opinion of Nigerians on this new policy by President Bola Tinubu. Now has the report. For more than a year, prices of food items in Nigeria have continued to skyrocket with no solution in sight. There is hardly food item that has not witnessed daily price increase of recent times in all parts of the country. Worried by this situation, the federal government approved duty-free on some imported food items such as rice, maize and wheat, which will last for 150 days. In an interview, some Nigerians expressed anger frustration over the short period of the policy. Track of Nigerians. Track on my stand-up.
There's no food and everything is cost. And customs still have a right to seize the rice where they smuggle, where they put inside the jerry can. That rice where they inside the jerry can, where they seize, is it a gun inside that jerry can? Is it not rice where people are looking for to eat? Look at the mudu of rice now, it's 2,500 naira. So things are so expensive.
Former President Muhammadu Buhari had closed the borders of the country, giving a lot of regulations and restrictions to imported goods to the country. However, the untold hardship among Nigerians is on the heels of the subsidy removal by President Bola Tinubu, which prices of food items and other commodities have been very high. They have called on governments not just to lift the ban for 150 days, but consider proper importation and encouraging local production in the country. Evikan Michael, reporting for Global TV News.
Out of foreign scene, United States President Joe Biden has condemned a wave of Russian missile strikes that killed at least 38 people in the Ukraine as a horrific reminder of Russia's brutality as they vow to strengthen the Kiev's air defenses. At least 990 were injured across the country, including some at the children's hospitals in the capital, Kiev. It comes as Biden prepares to host a NATO summit in Washington. The United States President says a further boost to Ukraine's air defenses will be announced at the meeting. The first methanol power ship to ply routes between Europe's busy port was unveiled in Rotterdam, with shipping owners hoping to spur efforts to bring down the industry's huge carbon footprint. The Eco Maestro, a 13,635-ton container carrier, will head off to Antwerp in the north next week before plotting a course to the Klaipėdas in the Lithuania and Riga in the Latvia, it honors said. They're capable of carrying more than 1,200 standard containers. The Eco Maestro is one of the handful of ships globally that is capable of running on both green, the biomethanol or normal fuel, which is far more polluting. About 12 days after a halting debate performance that may go down as one of the most damaging in the modern American history, the president is fighting for his political survival under the intense domestic and global scrutiny. This week's NATO summit in Washington, D.C. may be its path to at least a temporary reprieve of the president last time. In the past few days, Biden has rallied against its critics and claimed that the mandate of the Democratic primary voters and the challenge opponents to step forward and try to unseat him. He has promised repeatedly that he's moving ahead with his campaign and that the time for second-guessing and handwriting is over. That pressing ahead, we will start at the NATO summit. Now, the United Nations protested over the latest mass evacuation orders issued by Israel in Gaza. The army said it has killed dozens of militants in the close quarters combat in its latest offensive in Gaza City. Israel extended its evacuation warning to cover most of the Gaza's main city, and intense fighting erupted. Israel has now issued 3 evacuation orders for the Gaza City and 1 for the south of the Palestinian territory since June 27 in a new stepping up of its military operations. The United Nations says that tens of thousands of civilians are fled. Now, on the business night, the federal government has announced a 150-day duty-free import window for food commodities as it stepped up efforts to tackle the rising inflation, which had impoverished the many Nigerians. The government also expressed its decisions to collaborate with states to expand land cultivation across the country. Consequently, the government suspended duties, tariff and taxes for the importation of certain food commodities to land and sea borders. Now, some farmers in Ondo State have approached the State High Court sitting in Ondo Town in the state to challenge the sale of their farmlands at Oluwa Forest Reserve in Odibo, the local government area of the state, by the state government. According to the concerned farmers, under the auspices of the Oluwa Forest Reserve farmers, the land measuring 2,000.482 hectares was sold to a foreign company, while the certificate of occupancy has been issued to the buyer, rendering the thousands of the concerned farmers jobless. In a suit filed by their counsel, Tope Tomakun, the court was asked to declare the action of the government in selling the land illegal. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmad Dangi, has started that the 250 housing units renewed hope estate in Oyo State as part of the federal government effort to reduce the housing deficit and provide the affordable housing for Nigerians. The inauguration was held at the Rumu Dry Port in the Ebeda local government area of the state. He said the housing project was designed to be affordable for individuals and families with a stable source of income, adding that the importance of quality construction and adherence to the highest standards of construction. Now, away from that, the Niger Delta Development Commission has proposed an aggregate expenditure of 1.911 trillion naira for the 2024 budget of renewed hope. The managing director of the NEDC, Samuel Aboku, presented the budget before the House of Representative Committee on NEDC in Abuja. He says the primary objective in preparing the budget is to achieve the sustainable economic development for which the commission is founded. Now, at the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market, the Naira dropped to 1,523.85 thousand per dollar. This is the depreciation from the previous close at 1,509.67 Naira to the American greenback. The Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market is a market trading segment for investors, exporters, and end users that allows for forex trades to be made at the exchange rate determined by the prevailing market condition. The Naira traded at an intra high of 1,540.25 there and a low of 1,434.05 to a dollar. The turnover stood at $133.47 million, higher than the $116.88 million on Friday, indicating improved liquidity on the market. Now, in entertainment, Celine Dion is contemplating a return to the spotlight despite battling a rare neurological disorder known as stiff person syndrome. The iconic 56-year-old artist has reportedly been offered a prestigious opportunity to perform at the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics despite the progression of her illness. The Canadian singer, known for her powerful voice, revealed she has been diagnosed with a progressive neurological condition that affects the muscles, causing stiffness and spasms in 2022. Now, the sports Italian transfer expert, the Pier Francesco Monachino, has made the bold claim that Serie A giant Napoli will not entertain the offer from the Chelsea involving an offer of Romelu Lukaku and the Cesar Sassadi plus cash for Nigeria's international Victor Osimhen. in their bid to sign the Super Eagles striker. The English Premier League were willing to offer Lukaku and Cassidy plus a fee in the region of 30 million euros cash to Napoli to lure the striker to Stamford Bridge. Osimhen agreed a new contract with Napoli in December. However, those terms only run until the summer of 2026, and there is reportedly a release clause of around £113 million included in the agreement. Now, France midfielder Adrien Rabiot has admitted that the teammate Kylian Mbappe is having a rough time at the Euro 2024. Despite his status as one of the standout players in the world football, Mbappe has scored just one in 4 appearances at the tournament so far, a penalty against Poland. Mbappé's cause hasn't been helped by the broken nose that he suffered in the France opening group game against Austria, which has meant that the forward has had to wear marks in the subsequent matches. And more for sports, let's now join Anthony Mamadou for an update. Well, we'll get more for update on sport on the subsequent bulletin. But as we wrap up the Global TV News Prime, let's take a look at the top stories. President Tinubu has created Ministry of Livestock Development to stop the farmers' herders' clash. A bill seeking to create 24 additional legislative seats for women has passed the second reading. In business, the federal government has begun construction of 250 housing unit estate in Oyo. And for seeing methanol power ship has been unveiled in the Netherlands. And finally, sports, we told you Manchester United have made second bid for Brentford. And that's the package on News Prime coming to you live from Nigeria's capital. We're on StarTimes, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using our Global TV NG and other handles are shown on the screen. I am Edika Michael, and thanks for watching and staying with us tonight on News Prime. See you again.